Hi, I'm Konstantin, and today I'll show you how to set up Applywright. This is an agentic tool that I created to make job search process easier and more efficient. What it does, it helps you to assess if a role that you're considering is potentially a good fit for you, so it is worth your time to do a research and apply. And when you do decide to apply, Applywright will help you by automating certain steps that are necessary and helpful and useful, but at the same time require no judgment from your side. In this video, I will assume you know what Applywright is, so I will not be focusing on the functionality. Instead, I'll be focusing on the setup process. Let's start by reviewing what kind of information you need to have ready when you start. I'll show you what I'll be using today for this demo walkthrough. First of all, you need to have resume, and you can see I created this fake persona. Everything is quite generic, just name, contact information, work experience, and education. If you have something more complex and sophisticated, it's good, but even something basic and generic like this is enough for you to start. And second crucial part is a little note about your career, who you are, what you did, how do you describe your career, what you're looking for, what kind of roles, what kind of titles. Maybe you have preferences on company stage and size, maybe certain industries. Maybe you would prefer certain geographic location, everything like that. And your deal breakers, everything that you want to be steering away from. And it's important because Applywright will need to learn about you and your goals so that when it assesses a fit with a potential role that you're considering, the verdict that Applywright is making should be relevant for you. And this kind of information is how Applywright will be making those verdicts. Now, assuming you have all that and you want to start, what you'll be doing is you'll go to my website, to the Applywright section, and you'll find this prompt that I dropped here. All you need to do is to just copy it, go to Claude, and drop it here. And that's exactly what I did here. Because it takes time, you will see how many intermediate steps Claude needs to make. I decided not to have the live session and instead have a walkthrough. As I said, it will take Claude some time to go through all the steps based on the prompt. And when it's done, it will give you an overview of Applywright. How the pipeline works, how the personalization works, what's good about it, what are you signing up for as a user. And I encourage you to read through all these things because this gives you a good taste of what this tool is, and you can decide for yourself, you can judge if this is something that will be helpful for you. Claude also does that. So it asked me, how would I describe my job search? And it assessed that it might be worth your time with 2 caveats, and it explained why it was unsure, and it even suggested to run one personalization in Claude's sandbox, sort of zero commitment experience, just to assess and check is it worth my time. In this example, I did need to have a walkthrough, so I said no, thank you for offering, but yeah, let's run full setup. Another thing that I like about this orientation skill that I built and set up with AI is it can adjust based on users' technical fluency, so to speak. It asks me, how comfortable are you with the terminal? If you're an engineer, you probably will say absolutely comfortable. If you're a designer or you're in marketing, you might say, you know what, like somewhat, or even no, I don't want to use terminal or want to use it as little as possible. I don't want to learn this. And based on that, Claude will adjust the subsequent steps. For example, here it gave me a zip file. I'm pretty sure if I said that I'm an engineer and I'm very comfortable with the terminal, it will just ask me to clone the repo. One thing is this chat is run in a separate project, so Claude has no memory about me. That's why it asks me all these questions. I would expect if you run it in your own Claude account, it will not need to ask all the questions such as which system are you using? Are you on Mac or on Windows or Linux? How comfortable are you with terminal? All these things Claude typically knows about you. So this example, it gave me zip file. I unzipped it in documents demo. It asked me, do I have homebrew? I said not. And so it just started to give me all the instructions. Again, it remembered that I said that I'm somewhat comfortable with the terminal. Still, it told me what do I need to do to launch it. It gave me the commands. And what should I expect to hear back. And that's what I was doing. I was copying the comments, copying the output back so that now Claude knows what's happening on my local machine. Like, for example, it gave me brew install, all these tools that I need. And here you can see I did that, I executed, and then I just pasted back everything that I got from the terminal. So that helped me to stay in sync, and Claude was aware of what's happening. Now, if at any moment, and you'll see it will happen later on, something unexpected happens, Claude can very quickly and in a clever manner help you to navigate it. So this is fairly safe and, I want to say, pleasant experience to have Claude on your side. Once you are done with milestone 1, you move on to the second milestone, and this is all about building your profile, creating your configuration. So again, Claude will start asking you certain questions. Do you have a portfolio website? Do you want to use some kind of MBA, PhD suffix? Do you have favorite font? For the font, I said, I don't remember, but here's my resume. Use whatever I'm using currently. For tracking, I'm personally using Notion via MCP, but for this walkthrough, I decided not to go. It's not hard, it's just lots of click-through, so it's the local CSV. If you want to connect Notion, it is easy to do. Claude will guide you. It's not hard at all. And if you want to do something else, I encourage you. It is super fun to do, but at this point and for this demo, local CSV file basically is fine. It will ask you some more questions. For example, here it started to asking questions about my career goals, but instead of answering them, I just said, I'll upload the file for you. And at the end, it will generate this profile files archive. And you're supposed to unzip and put them into the respective folder. But even that part, Claude just gave me the comments to execute, so I didn't even need to drop them manually. At the end of second milestone, Claude will offer you to run your first, process your first job with Claude Code, and you can use both. You can use the desktop app, or you can use the terminal version. Essentially the same thing. Anthropic uses them interchangeably. They have both access to the same data, and they will produce the same output. It's basically just a matter of your preference. And sometimes I'm using desktop version, sometimes I'm using terminal. It will yield essentially the same thing for you. In this example, I grabbed a random PM role from Microsoft that seems to be okay-ish fit for the person. And you can see that it worked. The job description was saved, there was a fit assessment, and it created the resume, and then it it converted to the clean version of PDF that you can just grab and use in your application form. One thing that I want to highlight is design did not happen yet. So don't be discouraged that it looks very generic. This will all change in, I believe, 4th milestone. And this is exactly what I did here. I said, okay, it works, but I don't like the way my resume looks. How can we change it? And even though Claude knew that the milestone 3, the next milestone, is supposed to be StoryBank, it course corrected and said, okay, you want to do the design? Let me read the skill and how can we do the design now? It started asking me certain questions. What's direction? What kind of vibe you're looking for? And I just uploaded the image, which, by the way, I found is helpful. It is helpful to upload actual PDF or Word document, but when you upload a screenshot, it tells Claude how the document looks to a human eye. So it's a little tip, also include the screenshot. And we went back and forth. You can see that at first it just created this version. The name was off-centered and only the header was this peach color, and I wanted the entire thing. And we kept chatting up until I liked the version it had. So I said, okay, let's drop it. There was this problem, the conflict between the photo and the text. So all I'm saying is keep chatting until you're happy. And when you are, it will help you to drop it to the correct place. And when we were done with the design, it correctly came back and said, hey, there is one substantial piece that you left, it's StoryBank, so let's go back to that one. StoryBank is important, and Claude will explain you where it is and why this is important. Now, this is a demo walkthrough. I don't care about the quality of the StoryBank here, but you do. And so, in my experience, you would probably spend a lot of your mental energy working on this bullets and finding the good version and then finding a better version of that bullet point and even better version. So it could balloon to unspecified size of back and forth with AI. So if you want to keep your setup chat clean, what you can do is just ask it to give you a handoff file, and it will generate this little markdown file with all the instructions, everything that it knows about you and how to write strong bullets for the resume and all that, and what kind of format it expects you to give it to plug into Applywright. What I did is just started fresh new session, dropped this file, said, you know what, look at it, I'm ready, let's go. It read through all the parts. Then I dropped everything I had. One-liners about the projects that I was involved in. All the bullet points, maybe you manually applied for some jobs previously and you adjusted your resume and you have those variations. All the case studies that I have, all of this information will be useful. Again, it's a very short chat session because it's just a demo. In reality, when I was doing it for myself, it took me several days and I had a chat session for every project separately. So my point is, you will probably spend a lot of your time and mental energy working on this. And to start using Applywright, you don't have to have a complete and perfect version. you can start by just having strong bullet points, one per each project, what is called main, and maybe one alternative for each, or for at least the most important ones. And then as you start using Applywright as it is helping you to apply more and more consistently, you could set aside some more time to finish and expand the story bank further. Interesting thing is when I put here, it would start looking, hey, there is an attribution conflict. Hey, I cannot confirm the numbers. So I instructed Claude during the setup to be very rigorous. And it's a deliberate choice. My point is, once Applywright starts putting in these bullets, there is no way out. There is no way back. If you apply for a role and you submitted this resume, you are the one owning this. And so for that, I limited greatly the creativity of AI because I don't trust it not to say something awkward. I don't trust it yet to start building and tailoring resume for me. If you are comfortable, milestone 5 personalization, sure, you can give it as much freedom as you would like. That's just my philosophy. But the point here that during the setup, it will have a series of gates and checks to ensure that whatever is going into master bullets is vetted, is accurate, and you're not setting yourself up for an awkward screening or revelation during the interviews. So in this case, I re-uploaded the case studies to say, okay, you know what, you can verify the metrics. And that's basically concludes the setup process. This is where I realized that, oh, you know what? I just realized the line is colliding, and then it helped me to fix it. And here you can see it looks nice and clean. Once you completed these 4 milestones, you're essentially done with the setup and you can start using Applywright. I do encourage you to personalize it further. For that, I created the optional milestone number 5, when you can tweak the pipeline, when you can calibrate the fit assessment and maybe some other things to make it truly yours. Again, this is not an application. This is a set of skills for Claude Code, and you should treat it as such. You should keep making it personal, keep making it yours so that it works in a way that's valuable for you. That's it for today, and good luck on your job search journey.